All right, to start off, thank you again, once again, for bearing with me for the first 9 talks, and we'll have 6 more to go, as you know. So the title of my talk for today is Evangelistic Headship. Now, first and foremost, let's talk about what is evangelism first. So in Christianity, when we talk about evangelism, it is the commitment to or act of publicly preaching. So it's the ministry of the gospel with the intention to share the message and teachings of Jesus Christ. So when we speak of evangelistic headship, as you know, you being household leaders, you are part of the headship, right? So you use the gospel with the intention to share the message and teachings of Jesus Christ. The evangelistic headship is part of the third module, which is building up the brethren. So that is talk number 9, and will be followed next week by the ministry of encouragement. Right. Now, for our outline for this talk, we'll be dealing with 4 subjects, which is, of course, the introduction. The second is the 3 situations for evangelistic headship. The third is the elements of evangelistic headship. And last but not least is the conclusion. So from the 9 talks that I have given, this is actually one of the talks that is kind of short. Introduction: all of you are heads, leaders over households, and you carry the authority of the CFC Council. So, as you know, that being household leaders, you also have the authority to govern your households as you see fit. Now, but the thing there is that when we talk about headship over people or over our brethren, we talk about being evangelistic, not authoritarian or legalistic. So like I have mentioned, when we talk about evangelism, we use the gospel to convene our communication with our brethren. So there is no authority, or there is no, we do not use our authority to make them follow us. If, like I always mention this, right? If you are a manager in a company, or if you are the breadwinner of your family, it means you have authority. But for us in CFC, what we use is basically the gospel. Now, the second one is often new CFC members are not immediately eager about being under headship. This is a new situation for most. Most are used to answering to no one but themselves. I believe this one you are familiar with this. Since na ang usapan natin CFC ay pakiusap, some of them, they have a different idea. So this one is, we will talk about also how to deal with these members as well. Okay. And last but not the least, you need to establish good personal relationship first. I believe in communication, that is key to any type of communication, whether it is husband or wife, to your friends, to your colleagues. In CFC, it also applies. Okay, you need to establish good personal relationship first. If we don't have good personal relationship, it will be difficult to break the bond, or it will be difficult to make the bond, or to break the wall between you and the other person. So we have 3 situations for evangelistic headship. First one is new members after the CLP. We have been new members ourselves, right? During the time that I was new in CFC, I am not familiar with how CFC works. What is the line of communication, or what is the authority over it? Most of the new members, they are often new to understanding what God is all about. Most of the new members of CLP, they haven't attended even Bible sharing. Maybe they have attended Bible study, but they have not attended Bible sharing. By the way, can anybody tell me what is the difference between Bible study and Bible sharing? Anyone? Anyone? Can anyone tell me the difference between Bible study and Bible sharing?
Bible study is we are studying the word of or the word or the message of the Lord through the Bible's passages, and then Bible sharing is you share your own experience to the Bible passages that relating to Bible passages.
Correct.
Something.
Thank you po. Thank you po. Okay. So, thank you po, Brother Arnel. So, in my experience, if there are new members, after the CLP, they have a lot of questions. And sometimes, in the household, it is being brought about, right? So, if you entertain those questions, then it becomes more like a Bible study. And the others will not even have time to share what they would like to, or to impart what they would like to get across our other brethren. Okay. Next one is that they do not as yet fully appreciate the vision and mission and culture of CFC. For example, yung mga new members, they don't know exactly what is the importance of household. Diba? I mean, even myself, I mean, for when I was new in CFC, I just think that household is just a gathering. As I grow in CFC, then I found out that household is very important, because that is where we grow. Doon po tayo nag-grow eh. Yung mga sharing sa atin ng mga brethren natin, doon tayo nag-grow. Kasi we are one, we think that hindi pala tayo nag-iisa. The second one is those with questions, reservations, and doubts. Now, some do not experience the full conversion during the CLP. For many, it will be a continuing process. I guess you can also relate to this. Lalo na po pag tayo nag-pray over. Di ba? Nakikita niyo naman po na yung iba, they really felt something different. Pero yung iba, parang hindi pa rin nila maintindihan. They couldn't really grasp yung importance ng praying over. Di ba po? But reservations and doubts are also very normal. So you just need to draw them in and continue the process of evangelization. For example po, yung raising their hands and praying over. Diba? May mga brethren na after nag-CLP na sila, they still have questions and reservations in raising their hands. Sino po rito nagtataas ng kamay when you praise, pag nag-praise and worship kayo? Can anybody give me? Okay. So, Brother Mike, can I ask po, why do you raise your hand? Brother Mike.
To show your gratitude and to show your affection on how you praise the Lord.
Okay. Thank you po, Brother Mike. So, showing of affection yun kay Brother Mike. Di ba? Ngayon, sa mga ibang bago, or even yung mga luma, na they haven't really experienced what Brother Mike has experienced, ang hirap itaas yung kamay nila. So we should understand that is a normal process. I think na-share na to ni Sister Wifey ko eh. Ni Donna, nung pumunta kami ng El Shaddai. Tapos nakita namin, in surroundings namin, nagtataas na ng kamay. Di ba? So, na nagkatanong kami dalawa, ano ba, tataasan ba natin yung kamay namin? Di ba? Tapos yung taas namin ng kamay, half-baked. Ang nandun lang sa shoulder namin kasi nahihiya kami sa isa't isa kung tinataas namin yung kamay namin. So, the same thing, di ba? Kaya nga, if you would notice, di ba, pag nagsi-CLP tayo, yung mga first few songs natin, mag-raise tayo ng hands pero as much as possible nililimit natin yon. Kasi ayaw nating ma-shock yung mga participants na darating na ganito pala ang ano. So they might have the reservations already. So that's one of the reasons too. Now, it does not mean that such people are in a bad situation. It's just they just not used to their new life in the Lord. Okay. Even po yung, for example, I don't know po if this is your practice, pero po kami ni Donna and John, every time we call, we say I love you. Okay. So that, because that is already our practice, diba? Even yung mga couples tayo, di ba? I mean, I don't know kung nag-holding hands pa kayo when you go to the mall. Pero kami ni Donna nag-holding hands pa kami. Okay? So, minsan yung mga mag-asawa na matagal na, nagugulat sila sa akin. Sabi nila, bakit nag-holding hands pa yung kami dalawa ni Donna? Pero it's just that it's already a way na it's within us na. Parang we got used to it na. Okay? And the third one is those who have been with CFC but have had past bad experiences. We have to understand po that nobody's perfect naman, di ba? Okay? Now, from the other two, this is more difficult. So it's not just a question of drawing one into the new life, but first of overcoming what are obstacles caused by past experiences in CFC. You have to remember po, nobody's perfect. May mga leaders before na they felt na they weren't effective. Diba? They were focusing more on themselves rather on the reason of why they were there. For me po, yun ang take ko doon. Okay? Because once you start thinking na kayo yung leader, instead of thinking that you're doing this for God, it's totally different. It means that you are clinging on yourself now. Diba? So, yung po, yung may mga brethren na nagba-backslide, di ba po? But what do we need to do? We just need take time where they are at and help them make a healthy transition. Okay? Pero dun po sa last part is a continuing process. May mga hindi po talaga bumabalik, may mga bumabalik. Ngayon, pag hindi sila bumalik, okay lang. Diba? Let's just keep on talking to them. We'll just try. Yun lang po ang dapat natin gawin. But why do we need to try? Because we know in ourselves that the reason that what we are doing this is because we are willing to do this. Diba po yung talk last week, diba? The willingness for us to do this. Okay? Any questions po? Thumbs up kung na-understand. Understand po? Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, now we go to the elements of evangelistic headship. First one is emphasis on qualities like grace, patience, giving others the benefit of the doubt. Ano po ang grace sa Tagalog? Ako, ginugol ko to kaya nalaman ko. Sige nga. Sino po ang pwedeng magtagalog ng grace? Marami grasya di ba? Pero ano yung grasya?
Biyaya.
Biyaya. Very good. Ay, buti kayo alam niya. Ako, ginugol ko kaya kung ano yung Tagalog yan Pag sinabi po natin na we emphasize on the qualities like grace, patience, giving others the benefit of doubt, it means that sometimes your members are going to forget things. sometimes they also do things wrong. Okay? So if they do that, it's just that we cannot be hard on them. Okay? Pag sila po nagkaroon ng kasalanan, may ginawa silang mali, hindi sila naka-attend ng household, okay lang. May mga times po na nag-prepare na kayo, di ba? Ang dami niyo ng piniprayer. Tapos yung mga members ng household nyo hindi darating. Tapos ang mabigat na meron nyo pa, may nagsisinungaling pa. Pero okay lang. So, just go, 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 and go. Meron din po tayong mga brethren na sometimes gumawa sa atin ng malaking kasalanan. Di ba? Pero nasa CFC na tayo eh. So if that happens, what do you need to do? You just need to forgive. Di ba nga sabi ko, burn the boats. Di ba? When you say burn the boat, kung alam mo na mahirap magpatawad, pero kinakailangan magpatawad, so you just have to do what God tells you, which is magpatawad tayo. Okay? Now, your understanding and patience will win them over. Minsan to the point na sila na yung makihiya sa inyo. And they will start respecting you. Now, the next one is develop a relationship of trust and openness. Remember po na ang example natin dito ay si Jesus Christ. So with this one, we need to take the position of a servant for them. Kahit na alam natin na ano sila, so we still need to take a servant. You still need to take a servant position. When you say taking the position of a servant, what does it mean? It means that they need to know that you are for them. Express this openly and often. Just words that, okay, we will include you in our prayers will already make a lot of difference. Just to reach out. Pero of course, pag sinabi mo na you will include them in your prayer, syempre, you have to give like a few minutes of yourself to really pray. Okay? So, next one is, you show that your role is not to turn their lives, but to guide them as an older brother or sister. Okay? And be available to them when needed. Parang sabihin, nandito pa rin kami. If you're willing to come back, we are still here. Our household, CFC, is still here. If you need any help, do not be a stranger. Now, of course, it will take a while. Sometimes 1 year, sometimes 2 years. But patiently work at it. This one, next one is set lower standards and fewer standards. Do not, when you say set lowering standards and fewer standards, do not intimidate or force them. Intimidation. Let's say praise and worship. Alam mong sintonado yung isa. Di ba? Huwag mo nang kalabitin na mali yung tono niya. So, ubayaan mo na lang. Kasi it's praise and worship na to eh. Kasi minsan may tendency tayo na, which is mahirap naman talaga, right? Na pag yung isa mali yung tono, ginagawa mo, you sway yourself to the other person. Parang di mo marinig yung tono. So yon, those are one of the things that, do not intimidate or force them. But rather what you need to do is you need to encourage them. For example, yung ginagawa ni Brother Arnel, di ba? Pag ikaw na mag-pray, di ba? He gives us the opportunity to close the prayer or open the prayer. Pero parating sinasabi na, kaya mo yan. Pwede mo namang basahin. Pwede ka naman, it's just a matter of preparing. So, ganun po. Yun po yung set lower standards and fewer standards. Let's say po yung steps. Ako, guilty po ako dyan. Kasi before, sabi nga parati ko tinatanong si Brother Edgar na, ano ba yung steps? Ano ba dapat? Exhortation, tapos, praise and, thanksgiving. Baka makalimutan ko. Diba? Ang sabi lang sa akin ni Brother Edgar ganito, Lord God listens to you not because of your steps, but because of your heart. Even prayer, eh. Diba? Yung prayer natin, okay, the Lord God is actually looking at your heart. Yung sincerity mo in doing it. Not kung gaano kaganda or kung gaano vocabulary mo, prayers mo. Now, next one is be a good listener. Now, what is a good listener? When you say a good listener, it means that you get to know your brothers and sisters first. Siyempre, kailangan alam mo muna sa household mo kung ano yung ugali ng brother or sister, yung brother or sister mo. Now, make sure you know that what they are like and what they need to hear. Do not just jump in right away and start telling them what to do. Yun po yung mahirap eh. Pag let's say, yung brother mo, yung binibigyan mo kagad siya ng instructions, baka andun magiging authoritative ka na. Okay? Pag sinabi mo, kahit na very simple things eh, kahit sabihin mo na, okay, ikaw in charge sa kanin. Okay, ikaw in charge sa ganito, okay lang ba sa'yo? Tapos wala yung word na okay lang ba sa'yo? They can misinterpret it. So you have to be a good listener. Okay. Next one is listen to them. So when listening to them, let them know that you are going to listen to them. So when you say let them know you're going to listen to them, it refers to our body language. Check mo natin yung body language natin. Meron kasi sinasabi na seek first to understand, then to be understood. Meron kasing time na we are itching to answer back. Pero that is not listening. So we need to examine ourselves. Are we there really to listen or just to give an advice? Now, don't always have a canned answer and let them know you really understand what they are saying. Be honest with them. Sometimes if you would like to clarify, then you just need to clarify. Okay? So acknowledge their good points, and then you have been given 2 ears and only 1 mouth. Be more open to listening and not just talking. Some people, they love to talk more than they listen, right? So when you say listening to them, at least 70% you have to listen. And then let us see, remember what they tell you. If you can take notes of what they tell you, but of course you have to what? Ask them for permission first, na? Can I take notes? If you think that the discussion will be long. Okay? If not, then of course you need to remember those one. Now this takes effort. You have to decide to do it. If really you have to do that, because before meron akong ano dyan eh, so you really would like to talk to me. So ginawa ko talaga, nag-take notes talaga ako. Pero I ask permission first. Okay? Now, let us do a little bit of an activity. Activity lang po tayo, ha? Okay, so ilan po tayo? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 4, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 8. Kasama ako. 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay. So ganito po. Sistema. We will be a good listener. All right? So what we're going to do is we will be divided into groups of 2. So the one is listener and the other one is the speaker. So listener takes down points in a paper and the speaker talks about something he or she is grateful for and why. Okay po? Okay po? June, kasi di ba pandemic ngayon, di ba? Puro negative eh. Okay? So ngayon po, bibigyan ko kayo ng partner, tapos pag-uusapan nyo, what is the person grateful for and why? Tandaan po may listener at may speaker. So yung speaker, siyempre magsasalita. Yung listener, just listen. You have to keep your full attention to the person. Okay? Now, the listener, yung speaker, notice also yung reaction ng speaker. At the same time, yung speaker also take notice on the reaction of the listener. Okay? Pag nagkukwento po siya, wag po natin siyang ikakat. We can clarify. Okay? Pero wag natin siyang ikakat. You can say, excuse me, can I just clarify ganito? Okay? So trying to be a good listener. All right? So I will divide po kayo sa 4, no? Hindi pwede mag-asawa eh. Manually. So, ira-random ko na lang po yung participants. Okay lang? Kung kanino mapunta, kanino ha? wala po akong cheat there dito. So, I will create 4 rooms. Okay? Now, option. So, let's say po 5 minutes each. Tapos magpapalit po tayo eh. Okay? So, I will give you at least 10 minutes per person. 5 minutes, 5 minutes. So, okay lang po, no? So, 10 minutes po. Then I'm gonna put 12 just in case. Okay. Open all rooms. So, 12 minutes po, per group. So, you can give 5 minutes, 5 minutes. Okay. So, after this, magkakaroon tayo ng debrief. Okay. Clear po lahat? Clear po sa question ko? Thumbs up po kung clear.
Sino ang speaker? Ikaw pipili o kaming dalawa?
Kayo po, kayo po dalawa, pipili. You just have to make a consensus kung sino po muna yung listener, kung sino muna yung speaker. Okay.
Ikaw magbibigay ng grupo.
Automatic to. So, hindi ako nandadaya. So, automatically mag-ano siya. So, baka tayong dalawang mami. So, I don't know. Okay po. So, join na lang kayo. Thank you so much, bro. Na?
Thank you so much,
Okay,
bro.
balik tayo sa ano. Thank you po.
Thank you po. Partner kayo ni Sis Bren? Sis Bro White?
Oo.
Partner kami ni Bro Ariel.
Ano nangyari? Ito na ba yung normal?
Opo.
Wala pa sila Sila daw
Wala pa sila.
Kamusta ang inyong sharing?
Okay lang, salitan kami. Nauna ako tapos siya.
Dalawa yung kay Brother Mike, dalawa yung pinakinggan niya. Dalawa kami ni Glenn so dalawa dapat ang nilista niya.
Ayun.
Isa na yun eh.
2 in 1, 2 in 1.
Ayos. Iantayin lang natin sila.
Sige
Ano si Bro?
Okay.
Bro, tsaka si Sis Donna.
Eksakto no, hindi ko siya inano. So,
Sis Mercy, tsaka si
Sister Bex siguro.
Matagal yun kasi mga evangelizer yun.
Okay. So, unmute niyo po yung mic niyo lahat. Okay. Question ko po, Sister Mercy, when you were the one who was speaking, tapos, how did you feel po nung the time na si Sister Rebecca ay nakikinig sa inyo?
Si ano po partner ko?
Sino?
Si Mikmik.
Si Mikmik pala. Sorry. Mikmik. Okay. So,
Si
Mikmik.
Mikmik. Oo.
Ano how did you feel?
Okay naman, kumbaga kasi sa amin, ang naging namin ni Mikmik, nagsabi ako kung ano yung nararamdaman ko, kung ano yung paghihirap ng kalooban ko, na i-share ko kay Mikmik. And then, kumbaga kami parang nag-change kami ng ano nag-change kami ng
Okay.
share kami pareho, gano'n.
So do you think Mick was a good listener?
Sorry?
Yung ano, how would you rate Mick as a listener? Anong rate mo sa kanya as a listener? From 1 to
Ano,
10?
85%.
85%. Oh, very high na, very high. Bakit?
Yes. Kasi kasi yung sa amin ni Vicky, kaya ako masasabing gano'n, he's my listener, pero yung pag-listen niya, hindi niya ako kinondem o hindi niya ako ate, huwag mong gawin yan, ate, ganito, ate, ano ka, mag-pray ka lang, yung gano'n. Hindi siya nagbigay ng advice sa akin na, kumbaga, si Mikmik, nagbigay din siya ng kanyang, kung ano yung kanyang nararamdaman. Kaya nga sabi niya, ate, relate ako sa nararamdaman mo. Ganun ba?
Very good.
Oo, kaya talagang naging ano namin ni Mikmik na pareho kami nabawasan ng stress. Para sa akin, yun ang naramdaman ko na pareho kami nabawasan ng stress kasi nakapag-share ako sa kanya kung ano yung nasa isip ko, kung ano yung nararamdaman ko, hirap ng kalooban. Na ganun din ang ginawa niya sa akin, na nag-share din niya sa akin na kung ano yung paghihirap, yung nagiging, yung paano rin yung kanyang iniisip ngayon, kung ano yung way, kung paano kami nakaka-move on na pareho. Yun. Maganda. Yung sa akin, yung namin.
So, Brother Mick, kayo po, how would you rate Sister Mercy as a listener?
Bibigyan rating na ba talaga? Actually po, for me, there's no parameter kasi ang nangyari po is para siyang casual conversation lang. Although at first, nag-take down talaga ako ng mga notes kasi makatanungin ako. At least prepared. Pero I would say na 100% na we were there. We were in the moment. Hindi namin inisip na breakout room yun. So we just shared how the week was. So for me, it was a normal and casual conversation.
Okay. Let me rephrase the question then. How did you feel that Sister Mercy was actually listening to you? What was that thing that you saw that Sister Mercy was really listening to you? Was really concerned,
Ayun po, I would say na the sign na nakikinig po kasi talaga si Ate Mercy is kung ano yung sinasabi is parang nire-rephrase niya or parang kina-clarify niya na ganito ba, ganito, ganyan. And then yun din yung naging way na yun nga, continuous lang flow yun ng conversation namin.
Okay, very good. Actually, yes, being a good listener, from what I've learned, is that you rephrase yung mga questions. Kasi, pero you're not adding anything else na. You're just rephrasing. So, makikita mo talaga na if you are doing that in a communication, it means that the communication is being effective. Kasi nandun mo makikita yung rapport ng tao eh. One of the things that makikita mo na you're creating rapport with one person or yung one person talaga nakikinig sa'yo is through asking questions. Yung concern niya na andun. Okay. So, start naman po. Thank you, Mick and Sister Mercy. Okay. How about Brother Mike and Sister Bren? Sister Bren, how would you, and Brother Glenn, how would you rate Brother Mike as a listener?
Nakatawa.
90 daw, sabi ni Glenn.
90. Sabi. Okay. Okay, same question. So, what is it that made Brother Mike a very good listener? Kasi 90 is very high na, ha? It's very high. Actually, between 80 above is already very, very high. Okay. Ano po? So, what is it that made you tell us that Brother Mike was a good listener?
Yes, because
Ano po yun? Bakit niya nabigay na 90?
Kasi dalawa kami and then he was able to accommodate all our kasi ang sinabi namin is what are we grateful for, and then aside from listening, din siya, parang parang, paano sabihin, parang, he is with us. Alam mo yung feeling na parang mafe-feel mo na he is with you. Na the way na sinasagot niya yung mga ang mga parang ramdam niya ba. So we feel the emotion na parang okay, parang ang sarap lang ng flow din. So we really parang na-connect kami, which is very difficult to have that connection sa someone na alam mo, mahirap kasing makakonect and then you share ang sharing mo is something parang very personal din to that extent. So na-feel namin siya doon, nakapag-connect kami sa kanya, nakapag-connect siya, and ayun, ang sarap ng tawanan namin. Parang ang ganda ng flow.
Yeah, thank you very much. Tapos si Bro Mike, how would you rate, them as listeners?
Sa akin nga, parang gusto kong i-rate silang dalawa ng ng 100% eh.
100%.
Grabe. Kasi talagang yung connection namin sa usapan namin. Si Sister Brent talagang lilinaw niya yung mga sinasabi ko, magte-take note siya. Which is lahat ng sinabi ko, sinabi niya lahat, inulit niya lahat. Ang haba nun. Alam niyo yung senior ko kanina sa inyo? Sa household natin? Inulit niya na buo lahat yun. Pagkatapos ko sinabi sa kanya.
Grabe yung focus na talaga.
Inulit niya lahat. Eksakto lahat. Mula sa umpisa. Tapos yun nga, yung connection tsaka yung connection namin tsaka yung feeling sa isa't isa na komportable kami. Sa isa't isa na mag-sharing, mag-usap. Nararamdaman namin yung komportable sa isa't isa na hindi kami nag-aalinlangan, na ganito. Masaya, nagtatawanan. Talagang contact ba? Parang contact.
Okay. Meron lang kasi, thank you very much Bro Mike and Sister Brent. Yung sa being a good listener, yung merong keyword dito which is rapport. Di ba? Yung rapport kasi, makikita mo, pag let's say, meron it's about NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. Meron kang tinatawag na mirroring. Pag kunyari, gumanto ako, tapos kayo, gumanon din, ibig sabihin, the two of us are creating rapport. Kasi mini-mirror mo ako eh. So, let's say yung jokes ni Brother Mike, which is very conducive naman pag nagpatawa si Brother Mike, di ba? Pag natawa ka doon, ibig sabihin, you are breaking already nagkakaroon na ng trust. Nagkakaroon ng bond. You try that. Pag ako nag-ano, pag may gumagano'n ako, yung iba sa inyo gagano'n, pero you do not know that you're doing it. Diba? It's spacing and mirroring. So, yun. So, if you're a good listener, aside from rephrasing, there's also a technique in mirroring the person. Okay? So, just try po. Pag gumanon ka, pag gumanon siya at gumanon din siya, isabihin nun, nagkiklik kayo. Pag let's say nagbigay ng joke yung isang tao at napatawa kayo, ganun, sabihin, na-create na yung bond. So, being a good listener is also partly that po. Okay? So, ano po susunod? Sister Beck and Sister Donna.
Ito po.
Sino po muna? Sister Beck na.
Ako yung listener talaga.
Okay. So, Sister Beck, how would you...
Okay. Kasi ever since kasi during the CLP, Sis Donna is one of my one-on-one. So, nung time na yon, we have, kumbaga nagkaroon na ng spark, which is we bond together. Like, yung bang feel comfortable ka na magsabi ng kung ano yung nararamdaman mo, yung experience mo, yung something na pwede mong i-share, is willing siyang makinig. Yung gano'n na klase na, Yung bang tipo na kahit saksakan mo siya ng maraming sasabihin, basta maraming kwento. Siya yung tao na makikinig din at makikinig. yung bang tipo na walang pagkasawa na makinig sa sinasabi ng ng mga kapatid, ganyan. Yun ang ko sa kanya. Kaya yung mula noon at hanggang ngayon, kung magkwento ko sa kanya or mag-uusap kami, something na we bond, yung parang magkapatid talaga. Yung bang, kahit nga magkapatid, nag-aaway pa, minsan di pa magkaintindihan. Pero si Sis Donna, something na she's a good listener talaga. Masasabi ko yan talaga. Talagang bibigyan ko siya ng 100% kasi talagang magaling talaga siya makinig. Kung ano naman kinukwento ko sa kanya, willing talaga siya makinig at mag-respond naman a little bit. So, ganon siya on my
Yeah.
Thank you
Yes.
po.
Okay. Now, meron din isa actually, when you talk about being a good listener, you call it pacing naman. P-A-C-I-N-G, pacing. So, kapag ang nagsasalita is very, very active, kinakailangan active listener ka rin. So, kinakailangan magtugma kayo. Pag yung tao naman, let's say, mabagal magsalita, hindi dapat ikaw, dapat babagalan mo yung salita mo. Really. Kasi kapag ang salita mo ay mabagal, kunyari kung mabagal tapos ako mabilis, ano ka muna, hindi mag-i-in sync. Kaya it's very important, for example, dito sa training, when I started off very slow. So para at least lahat tayo nagpe-pace. Okay? So, yun pa, one of the things to be a good listener is i-face mo rin yung tao. Tingnan mo yung emotional level ng tao. Tapos, pantayan mo. Pag pinantayan mo na, pag bumaba siya, then slowly bumaba ka na rin. Ngayon, pag ang kausap mo, may mataas o yung baba, dapat ganun ka rin, mataas o baba ka rin. Ganun talaga yun eh. Kahit sa naman, actually, even sales, ganito rin eh. Di ba? Kahit sa marketing, kahit kung pag-gusto ko sa boss mo, that's how the way you do it. Eh. Diba? Okay. Ito mahirap kasi tatanungin ko kay Brother Arnel kung anong rate mo sa akin sa being a listener. Ako naman.
Actually bro, ano ka, ang facing mo mataas. Mabuti na lang ka mo at mabilis ka magsalita. Mabuti na lang ka mo, meron akong experience sa stenotyping. Tapos sinasummarize ko yung mga sinasabi mo while I'm writing it. So nung nirepeat ko yung mga things na you are very grateful nasasabi ko sa iyo. And then meron akong hindi ko maintindihan kung meron akong hearing impaired. Pero ano ang tawag nito? Nung ikaw ang speaker, if you notice, ang tawag nito? Nung sinulat ko yung mga things na you are very grateful, na ako ang tawag nito, na nakaka-relate ako doon sa mga some of your things that you are very grateful. Kaya sinasabi ko sana ako din bro, no? Sana ako din. No? So, kung i-rate kita, 100% ka rin bro.
Grabe na, 100% flattered ako. Actually, bro, same thing with you. I really like what I really like about what you did is you were able to mention everything. So nakita ko talaga yung focus mo. Tapos nakita ko rin talaga yung yung tone mo, yung hindi ka kasi hindi monotone eh. So when you ask a question, talagang na-feel mo yung sincerity ng question. Kasi may mga tao na they ask a question just for the sake of asking, or may mga tao na nag-ask ng question tapos tatawanan ka. Na alam mo na, alam mo yun, na lalo ka maiinis. So yung question mo sa akin, which is one of the things that we discussed, di ba? And you ask a question, at the same time I really felt na ano ka na. Tapos yung time na ginawa mo sa akin na sabi mo na mabilis ako magsalita, you really try to cope up. Which is actually hindi ko nga na-feel na ano eh, na you're trying to cope up eh. So that's one of the examples that number 3, yung set lower standards and fewer standards. Diba? So, ikaw, I mean, alam mo na, let's say, gusto ko talaga magkwento, diba, I'm a tao of the moment, hindi mo ako pinigilan na sinabi mo sa akin na, hey, talang, gusto mo magsalita. So, hindi mo break yung flow. So, you really set your standards a little bit lower just to accommodate me. Yun po. Okay?
Tapos masaya kasi tawa tayo ng tawa. Kasi na yung yung mga grateful things mo, parang nakaka-relate talaga ako. So tapos na-mention ko pa na na muntik mo pang makalimutan yung na because for me having a household what you call this one with your household meeting with your siblings ay isang pinakamalaking yun.
Oh, yung pa isa. I mean, relate ka doon. So, I really felt na talagang, even pala yung mga past communication natin, you were really paying attention to me. So, that's one of the things. Thank you very much, Brother Arnel. Okay. So, thank you po sa, for everyone for the activity, for going through the activity. So, that is part of being a good listener. So kung yung ginawa po natin ngayon, if we can replicate those things when we talk to our brethren, kahit po sa ating mahal sa buhay, it's the same principle. When you focus on the person, really, not on na hindi pa nga siya tapos gusto mo nang sumagot eh. Di ba? Minsan kasi meron tayong tendency ganun eh. Okay? So any question po?
Pagdagdag lang po ako about Mikmik.
Sige po.
Kasi yung sa sitwasyon namin, yung sa pag-uusap namin ni Mikmik, kumbaga yung namin, yung age namin, di ba? Yung age gap namin, na kumbaga para si Mikmik, ko na lang yan eh. Ko na lang ang dating yung anak ko na lang siya, di ba? So, ko si Mikmik na kahit galit siya, na kahit mas bata siya sa akin, pero nakarelate siya sa mga sinasabi ko. Na kumbaga na niya ako, nag-gets niya yung ibig kong sabihin, kung ano yung na-share ko sa kanya. Kaya, yun, isa yung sa naging sa akin na kahit bata ang kausap mo na mas bata sa'yo, mas batang-bata pa kung iisipin, ko kay Mikmik, pero andun siya na talagang nakinig siya sa akin. At nakarelate kami sa isa't isa.
Grabe, that's an example, that's a specific example of one of the elements of evangelistic headship.
Yeah.
Madali pong ituro yan, pero pagdating sa application, syempre it depends on how we carry it forward. So kudos to Mikmik for doing a very, very great job.
Thank you po.
See. Okay. So continue po tayo if it's okay with you. Thank you po, Sister Mercy, for the input. Okay. So, to continue. Okay. So this one, offer more input in the form of brotherly, sisterly advice and wisdom rather than more direction and correction. Timely po na minention to ni Sister Mercy about Mikmik. Because I think this is what happened eh. So, in talk about number 5, some of us, we always correct our brethren. We should try to refrain from doing that. So we should not correct too often. For example, lateness, parati siyang late or ano, so kahit na minsan pabiro, the person might take it differently. Okay? Now, do not be anxious, defensive, and pushy. Okay? Hear and try to understand what they are about. Be confident that things can be resolved. That's one of the reasons why I chose this topic. What are you grateful for? Because normally sa atin sa buhay natin, di ba, we are more focused on the negative. But I believe for me, I felt na once I started naming all the positive things that we have, ang dami pala talaga, grabe. Okay? So you want your members to grow in confidence in your ability to help them. Thus, do not react as if problems is too heavy. Okay? So when we are listening, pag alam na natin na mabigat ang problema, wag na natin do not add insult to injury. Wag tayong, oy, ganun ba? Grabe, no? Ba't ganyan? No? We should try to compose ourselves and, carry ourselves forward. Kasi once na, di ba, negative, it's very conducive, di ba? Negative ka, tapos yung isang tao negative ay patay. Di ba? Kaya nga sa, we always have to be positive. Okay? Especially in the morning, it's very difficult to be around negative people. Now, 6, with all the above, think about the particular situations of your members and try to piece together a better understanding of where they are at. Now, you ask yourself some question. What troubles them? What are their strengths and weaknesses? And what are they like? So you should get to know them well enough so that you can get insights into their life which they themselves do not have. Okay. Now, in picking up our household, normally po, one of the things that we consider which person goes to which household is kung sino po yung nag-one-on-one. Okay. If you're able to go to one-on-one on this person, sinasama po namin kayo doon kasi para po yung rapport tsaka yung adjustment period is lesser. Kasi yung questions na I mentioned, what troubles them, what are their strengths and weaknesses, what are they like, it can be already answered during the time na mag-one-on-one. Right. Tapos, so, hello. Any questions so far? Wala po? Now, what if, for example, person saying that they are worried about something? It's the same process po na ginawa natin. Okay? Except that on the last part, you always have to say, can I give a suggestion? Okay? You always have to put them like, can I give a suggestion? Because you're asking permission. Once you tell the word, can I give a suggestion, it will open up a lot of things. Ibig sabihin, yung tao willing to share with you. Di ba? Kasi yung iba kasi, they just need people to listen to, that listens to them eh. So, like I mentioned, medyo ano po ang ating ngayon. So, we'll go to the conclusion. So, what you are doing is breaking someone of his, her wildness, rebelliousness, and independence. Okay. How do we do this? Combination of patience, love, and firmness. Patience, love, and firmness. Bakit po firmness? Siyempre, pag mali na yung ginagawa niya, we cannot also let them do it every time. But it's just the way of asking them, how to break it with them. Okay, so sometimes this one, aggressiveness on your part is also required. Okay, and then on the second one, through your efforts, CFC members will more and more enter into their new life in the Lord and develop greater faithfulness to their life in CFC. Okay. I guess with this one po, you can relate. Diba? Because the reason why we are here right now is also through the efforts na ginawa sa atin ng ating brethren. Okay? I mean, I have been in the community for almost 10 years. Si Brother Arnel, 9. Yung iba po sa inyo ay matagal na rin. Di ba po? 6 years yata si Sister Beck, if I'm not mistaken. Di ba? 5 years, di ba? So the reason why we are still here is also because through the efforts of our CFC members. Okay? So, wag po tayong patalo. Okay? So, we just need to be patient and we just need to be willing to do, what God has asked us to do. Okay. So, do you have any questions po? So, with this po, may God be praised.